Greetings, Elder Blacklight here. Muhammad speaks an urgent message to the black man. Part 2. Allah strikes back. Elijah told us that separation, the messenger of Allah, that's the one. Separation is greater than prayer. Behold, I will send you Elijah before that great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Tonight, California under a state of emergency, and the death toll is climbing. This state battered with a relentless string of deadly storms. At least 15 people killed. A monster sinkhole swallowing cars whole near Los Angeles. A mother and daughter pulled to safety. Tens of thousands forced to evacuate, including celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres. 2 first responders will join us live in just moments to take us inside the harrowing rescues by boat and by plane. Pressure mounting on President Biden after that stunning revelation late last night. Classified documents from his time as Obama's vice president found at one of his private offices. The discovery made just 1 week before the midterms. So the growing question tonight, why is this just coming to light now? The new investigation House Republicans are preparing to launch. Border crisis, the president meeting with leaders of Mexico and Canada to deal with the staggering surge of migrants arriving by land and by sea. Both Texas and Florida facing a humanitarian crisis. The lawmaker representing the Florida Keys, where hundreds have been arriving in makeshift vessels, joins Top Story tonight, what he's calling on President Biden to do. The dramatic video out of Utah, a snowboarder caught in an avalanche, how he lived to tell the tale. You'll hear from him tonight. Plus, in his own words, Prince Harry's memoir finally hitting the shelves, the explosive new details you have not heard, including the first time Harry heard about his family calling him William's spare, and why Meghan was not allowed by the Queen's side in her final days. And the wild images from a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, a waterfall raining down on the deck, what the cruise line says caused that spectacle at sea. Top Story starts right now.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Here in New York City, over 7,000 nurses are entering their 3rd day of a strike at 2 major hospital systems that account for more than a quarter of all hospital beds in the city. They began striking Monday after failing to reach a new contract agreement with Mount Sinai Hospital and Montefiore Medical Center over demands for higher wages and better staffing. The 2 systems have more than 1,200 nurse vacancies between them. This is New York State Nurses Association President Nancy Hagan speaking from the picket line Monday.
Nurses don't want to strike. We would rather be inside, taking care of the patients safely, in a safe manner, not the condition they have us working for the past 5-10 years. Enough is enough, Sinai. Enough is enough.
Some nurses have shared job postings that offer visiting non-union nurses $300 an hour to cross the picket line, more than 5 times the pay for a staff nurse. The nurses are also denouncing the inhumane treatment of patients, as some have been forced to receive medical care in hospital hallways due to overcrowding. Meanwhile, the New York State Nurses Association urged people to continue seeking the care they need, writing, quote, "We appreciate solidarity from our patients, but going into the hospital to get the care you need is not crossing our strike line. We're out here so we can provide you better patient care."
Thank you. We begin with breaking news. Air travel gradually returned to normal this morning after an FAA computer outage grounded flights nationwide.
KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live for us at LAX with the latest updates. Annie Rose, good morning.
Megan, good morning to you. We are at American Airlines Terminal. We understand that this system outage is not only affecting flights here at LAX or in our region, it is a nationwide outage, as you mentioned earlier. And behind me, you can see at American, long lines and equally high frustration right now from passengers. We just heard a gentleman asking employees here where his bags are. He was trapped on an airplane for over 4 hours for an 11 p.m. midnight flight, and he had no idea what was going on. He heard from pilots that this all has to do with the FAA. As you mentioned before, the FAA saying they are having a system outage. It has to do with what is called their system that sort of manages their air traffic control and tells pilots whether or not they can leave the terminals. Now, here in an FAA tweet, their latest update saying normal air traffic operations are resuming gradually across the U.S. following an overnight outage to that notice-to-air mission system that provides safety into flight crews. The ground stop has been lifted. We continue to monitor the situation. Now, we've been speaking to passengers all morning long. One of them is Amanda. Amanda, I know that you are trying to get to Thailand on a flight that left a long time ago, or was supposed to and didn't. Tell us what happened.
So I got here, checked in as normal. Everybody was very, very kind. We boarded the flight as normal, and then we sat on the flight and kept getting alerts on our phone that it was delayed. It was delayed while we were.
And, you know, you have a memory, I have a memory. Remember what they said in 2020 and 2021, and now that's flipped on its head. And they don't want to look at what's going on right in front of them. And in my book, I conclude with, you know, I don't go into the who or why. That's not helpful. I just want to establish it is, it's happening. But what I do say is, at this point, the data that I see, clearly global governments and health authorities see the same data, and they're not talking about it. And the question is why. So there's a cover-up of something going on. I believe it's the vaccines. If anybody has another thesis that could make sense to me, I'd love to hear it. I haven't heard one yet, but it's become apparent to me that there's definitely a cover-up going on a global scale.
Ed Dowd is on this podcast to talk about his latest book, Cause Unknown, which talks about the rise in excess deaths following the vaccinations that have swept across the world. He's formerly a
lot of moist moisture. All holy praises due thee, dear Allah, the Lord of the world, the moist moisture, Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee do we serve. Thee do we beseech for thine help. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed safety, not of those upon whom thou wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they have forsaken teaching. Amen. Brothers and sisters, I'm very happy to see your smiling faces here this afternoon. We have a great time of trouble going on, and it's getting worse and worse every hour. Therefore, we should be here to decide on what way we shall take. We have no time to think about trying to correspond with the people of this world. Don't be trying to imitate them. This is the time of separation and the destruction of one and the safety of another.